You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, AfterBuzz TV proudly brings to you the best wrestling podcast online. Showtime Josh Padgett, Ryan Clum, and Cathy the Great Kelley. Yeah, what up?
The most epic part of that intro was that your voice cracked just a little bit.
At the right moment.
I like your new nickname, the Great Kelley.
Yes. And we have to give credit for Steven in the booth for coming up with that one. It's pretty good.
I know.
It was very
Pretty good.
Game time decision there.
So, Monday Night Raw from Richmond, Virginia.
My hometown.
Your
Yeah,
hometown.
What fools live there?
Slow, quiet people that are real tired on a Monday night.
And of course, one of the first nights in several weeks where we did not have an AfterBuzz sign, even though we had so many
Yes.
plants in the audience, Josh.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I saw
Josh.
three
I blame
Showtime
Josh.
signs tonight. There's like 3 of them.
No love from your hometown,
they love me
man.
down there.
I blame you.
No. So, overall impressions, first off.
It was an okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw someone in the chat roll saying it was a great go home, but I thought it was an okay go home. There was some stuff I really liked in it. I enjoyed some segments tonight, but some of it was okay. And some of the wrestling was great. I guess it was cut out an hour, you would have had a great show.
Yeah, I think they were trying to set up a lot for Payback this weekend.
Yes.
And it's so funny because I completely forgot that they were doing a pay-per-view this weekend.
And it was like sensory overload. It's like, oh, here's like 7 matches.
Nowhere. RKO, pay-per-view out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's one of those pay-per-views.
Here's a match. Here's another one. Here's another one. We got like 8 matches we're gonna make tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, let's put Sandow and Sheamus in a pre-show right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were some random matches tonight, though, too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, there's so many people that are hurt that were like in top spots that were being pushed right now. And then you got CM Punk who's gone. It's like, we don't know what we're doing. But you got
Right.
A lot more injuries.
But if you notice, since they've done that, the Shield has gotten so much time in the ring. I mean, these
Which
guys,
is good.
they had 3 singles matches today. Yeah, I mean,
Lord.
they've probably been wrestling they've gotten like 40 minutes out of those 3 hours every week.
And Daniel
between
Bryan
the
has
3
like
of
2
them.
matches a night as well.
Exactly.
Like,
Now
he's-
Daniel Bryan, they're really those guys
Yeah.
are.
I mean,
are
good job
carrying
for
things right
him
now.
for
Yes.
stepping
Stepping
up, and he deserves that time.
That guy could be the face of the company. I mean, nobody ever thought it was going to be possible, but he could eventually be the face of the company in another year.
is.
He's getting so hot.
'Cause right now, he's best in the world.
Oh, yeah.
We're not talking Y2J and CM
Well,
Punk right now.
and here's
We're
the thing
talking
is,
Bryan.
a lot of people considered him the best wrestler in the world 10 years ago. You know, for a long time, a lot of people have considered that. But he hasn't always been a great sports entertainer. I've always thought he was a little bit boring back in his indie days. A lot of people did as well. A lot of people yell at me and say, how could you call him boring? But he was boring back in the day. He was a great wrestler, but he was boring. And now he's a great sports entertainer as well. He's an incredible entertainer. He's just got so much energy.
He's well-rounded.
His character is there. He's got one of the best characters there, which was his weak spot. So it's amazing how this guy has turned
I just watched
into that.
Ring of
One
Honor.
of the best sports entertainers in the world.
Yeah, he is. And like, I just watched this Ring of Honor match with him and El Generico.
Oh, okay.
And it was like the first
Sami
hug it
Zayn
out.
for you NXT
Sami
fans.
Zayn and NXT, but El Generico, and they had a match, and Brian comes out, to final countdown, and I love how Ring of Honor they throw the
The
confetti
streamers.
streamers,
Yeah.
And yeah, Generico is like, hey, come on, let's shake hands. And he's like, nah, no, thank you.
Well, because you shake hands in Ring of Honor before every match. That's the code of honor.
And yeah, Generico is like, I want a hug. And he gives Brian a hug, and Brian doesn't hug back. And everyone's like, boo! And he's like, I'm sorry. And everyone's like, hug him back. It's awesome. Watch it on YouTube, guys. It's hilarious.
Ring of Honor has some really great stuff. They have a great weekly show every week.
Lions fan in chat said, since Daniel has thought that he's the weakest link, he's done his best work ever. Which maybe that's kind of because his character's being modest. Everyone thinks he's so good.
Yeah,
I mean, he has been stepping up for sure.
It's been building ever since WrestleMania last year. You know, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So yeah.
Hot guys.
Hot guys.
Got the vicious beard. How tall is he? He can't be
5'8".
He really is 5'8".
5'7", 5'8".
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of like the underdog feeling you got from CM Punk back in the day. You get that, but then also he's so small, and it's just like the kids can really get behind him, but then the dudes can get behind him too. I just
Well, you know what? It's
well, Cathy, come on now. Jeez.
No, you can get behind him. You know,
Yeah.
I was just thinking the other day actually about this. It's you know, WWE has almost two prototypes. You have the big football players, muscle guys, and then you have the smaller wrestler guys. And it's almost like the difference between almost like if you're in a comics, DC and Marvel Comics. You got the big guys that are the big, strong dudes, and you like them because they're big and you've never seen them, and they're like comic book characters off the page. And then you have the smaller guys that are your Spider-Mans. They're the guys that you can relate to. The nerdy guys, you know, that can't get the girl and whatever. That's what the Marvel heroes were always. They have flaws. You know, they're very human. You can relate to them. So that I kind of think it's kind of that way. And sometimes in society, you know, the DC characters are more popular. Back in the 70s and 80s, everyone liked the DC, and now Spider-Man's making more money than those.
Yeah, but DC.
So you see, I think you kind of are seeing that same thing in wrestling. The smaller guys now, people are starting to really relate to them.
So let's get into
Marvel era.
tonight.
Not anymore.
We start off with the
Friday.
recap from last Monday. What was that?
I was saying, not anymore.
He's trying to throw a
Friday,
Superman plug in.
Superman coming to town. I related to Clark Kent more, to be honest. I didn't give a crap about Spider-Man.
Yeah, but not everybody's as dashingly good looking as you and
He's
perfect.
saying Clark Kent's not. Well, it's
See, it's the thing. Clark
up.
Kent's hard to relate to.
Yeah.
Recap
Recap.
of last
Triple
Monday.
H.
People are gonna get mad if we don't start talking about Raw.
All right.
So recap from last Monday, all of the McMahon family drama between Stephanie, Triple H, and Vince, of course. And you know, Stephanie saying that Triple H will not compete, and this really rolled over into tonight, which I thought the story played out amazingly.
Yeah, this was my favorite part of the show. Was this storyline
It's
between
hilarious. Awesome.
the McMahon family?
Yeah.
The past couple weeks, I kind of felt like they were pushing their family too much into the storylines, and this week I felt like it really, really
It
worked.
worked, yeah.
Yeah.
It did. This is a great storyline. Because the show opened up, it was awesome with, I mean, it just opens up Triple H's entrance, and Triple H is coming out because he said he was going to wrestle tonight. And so it's like, okay, it's going to happen.
Talk about one of the best entrances of the night, and then one of the worst.
Yeah. Triple H, in my opinion, is one of the best entrances of all time.
Yeah.
It's one of my
The
very
man
favorite entrances.
Understands theatrics. Curtis Axel, you know nothing about theatrics. Who's telling you to get out the curtain right now?
And I almost honestly, I don't. They're trying to he's playing the whole perfect thing off his dad, and it's funny is I watched.
Turns out his dad's dead.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny.
Cassie, I didn't catch you saying that
we
last
totally didn't catch you saying that last week, or both of us would have corrected.
I am a very new wrestling fan, and I apologize for any mistakes that I might make. I did say that Mr. Perfect was alive.
Well, you said he should come out with his dad.
Yeah.
He would like to.
So,
that would have been nice.
sorry, guys.
But it's funny is I was just watching the Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig WWE DVD this weekend, and they were getting into, because he was a second generation star. His dad, was Larry the Axe Hennig, and he was talking about how he didn't want to be his father, how he was doing everything to be his own man and be his own character. He didn't want to do the Axe gimmick, and his son is doing exactly what he didn't do. He's trying to live off his father's name, is a little bit what they're doing now. They're doing the whole perfect thing and play off the gimmick, and I don't know that I like that with him specifically.
And there's just nothing about his
doesn't work for me.
entrance that, like, there's no personality there whatsoever, I feel like.
Yeah, I love the song. I mean, I think with this guy, you got to go with the perfect thing because I don't see anything else, and it's like, all right, let's work off of it.
Yeah,
The
then
theme
you're trying to
song's great,
shove
and
him in.
Is it
It's
just
like
that
trying
they
to
don't
just
know
make
what to
him be
do
a star
with
to
him?
make him be a star. I think it's the name they want. I think they really want him to be a
legacy,
star.
yeah.
But he's been around back for so many years.
And
I mean, The Rock asked him to train him for WrestleMania.
There's a difference between being good in the ring and having a good character, you know? I mean, John Cena is not the greatest ring technician in the world at all, but the guy is amazing with timing, knowing when to do, what to do, how to bring that character out. It's not about your moves. Unfortunately, it's not always about that.
If they want to make him into a star, then why aren't they giving him some sort of mentor, like other than, you know?
I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have it. I mean, maybe he's a great hand, he's a great worker, but I don't know that he's got the personality, or maybe he just hasn't found that character yet.
I've got high hopes for him. I mean, Heyman can make him. It's going to work.
And let's not forget a guy like Titus O'Neil right now, who has tons of personality. A year and a half ago, it was like, cut this guy loose. You know, so you never know. You find that right thing. I don't know that the way they're going with this, you know, son of Mr. Perfect gimmick is his right thing. I don't think it's bringing the best of his personality out.
Yeah, speaking of that, it does upset me. He's taking Titus's spot. Like, Titus is one of those guys who could be in that spot, like being thrust into the Intercontinental title. He really deserves it. He's so good. He's ready.
And the fact that Curtis hasn't had a real legit win yet. Like, I feel like it's all been...
that's the whole thing,
That's
right?
another thing as well. Yeah, he had another count-out win by this weekend against Sheamus on a house show.
I don't know that people would react well to it.
But we should say
if
what
he
happened
did.
tonight, because I love the way this happened tonight. This was actually really good.
So the match starts, and about 30 seconds in, Vince McMahon's music plays. He comes out and basically tells Justin Roberts to end the match, and it's a DQ in Axel's favor.
Yeah.
Triple H loses.
Axel wins.
Axel wins.
And Vince takes off.
Yeah, Vince takes off.
Smiling.
I love it. I love it. And then Triple H.
I loved it because he did have that swagger come down, smile like, I'm going to get over you on you,
He's
Triple
so
H.
smug. He's so smug.
Vinny Mac.
And Triple H starts yelling and says to start the match over again.
Yep.
So they do. Mm-hmm. About a minute later, Axel wins again.
Yeah, because Vince comes back down.
Because of forfeit this time.
But yeah, and Vince comes back down, and the second time he came down was with no music, and he was a little more serious. It was like, first time it was funny. Second time, okay, you just went over my authority. Now I'm a little bit pissed off. So I liked Vince's acting there.
So guess what? Now you've got 2 losses in the matter of 2 minutes.
And Vince takes off.
Takes off again.
And then Triple H rings the bell himself to start a third match, and it's supposed to be a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Which is, we all pop, we're like, that is, yes, genius.
Stops
What's
after
Vince
about
gonna do?
60 seconds.
Vince comes back down and steals the bell.
Find yourself another bell.
Sends Curtis back.
Hilarious.
He goes, Curtis, go back.
Yeah, this was my favorite segment of the night.
I think it was one of my favorite openings for Raw in several weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it made me think a little bit more of like the Attitude Era, those exciting, like, oh, they used
What's
to have
gonna happen?
exciting openings, exciting endings, you know, stuff like, oh, this was really creative and this was cool. And I mean, this was like, well, once again, we've said before, kudos to creative. This was a very cool, put together segment. I love this. It was creative, it was original, it was different. It was a really great way to open the show.
And this storyline
Not
is
everyone
bigger.
agrees with us.
That's okay. I mean,
we're gonna have that, but this is bigger than
different
what
strokes for
the
different
athletes
folks.
are dealing with in the locker room.
Yeah.
This is a bigger story than what we get on TV all the time.
I thought it was great because it included matches and it included storyline, which is something that they rarely do now.
Yeah.
And it was dramatic, but it was also funny.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I mean, it was a match, but it wasn't, the focus on this wasn't the moves of the match. I mean, there was a little bit of wrestling going on, but it was really the story of Vince and Triple H.
And guys, officially, Curtis Axel has more wins over Triple H than Brock Lesnar does. Okay? That man's 3-0.
They're count outs. They don't count.
It don't matter. Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
Man, he's beating everybody.
Yeah.
John Cena, Sheamus.
John Cena,
no one.
Y2J, Sheamus. Yeah.
I love how they're like, he's undefeated. Yeah. What's Michael McGillicuddy's record, though?
The Shield
Not
was undefeated.
The Shield,
Well,
they're
as a
undefeated
trio.
as a trio. But did they just finally lose as a trio? They did, right? On SmackDown, or didn't they lose?
I don't know.
I thought they lost one. I thought they lost
I
one
said
like
they
a week
were
ago.
undefeated because I don't want to get in trouble anymore.
You gotta watch out for wrestling fans, man.
I'm just not gonna speak anymore, so I don't get in trouble.
You say the wrong thing.
So we go to commercial, come back from commercial, and backstage we have Triple H yelling at Stephanie McMahon, really setting up this whole dysfunctional
She's
family
crying.
thing. Oh my gosh.
Stephanie was great on the. I thought Stephanie
She looked great and she was great.
She was excellent all night. I thought all her bits were good. She was a standout tonight.
Go talk to him. I'm not talking to him.
Yeah.
It really set it up. I mean,
Steph is getting all.
Just
think
the drama
think about
between-
him. He's not getting any younger. She said that.
That was-
Don't talk about Vince getting old now.
All that
the
stuff
only
was
person
good.
who could ever say that is Stephanie.
A concerned daughter.
The only person allowed
felt
to say it. So speaking of drama, they recap everything that's been going on with Kane and Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Yeah. So Kane is in the ring. He's about to face Ambrose. And the Shield comes down with Ambrose through the crowd. I think there was a kid crying in the background, too.
There was a kid
That was
screaming.
so sad.
Yeah, I would have
It's so
yelled.
funny.
If that was me, I would have turned and yelled at the kid.
I don't think they saw him.
Oh, okay. That's what I would do. I yell
Yeah.
at people when they do stuff like that.
This is
They
a little
clap
brat.
or-
You're at Raw. You're at a taping of Raw.
You don't know. He might have peed his pants or something. You don't know. He could have been really uncomfortable.
You turn to him and tell him he's stupid. That's what I do. I told a little girl she was
Wait,
stupid that I
can
was
you
going
show
to
your shirt?
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah, okay.
Full
heel.
heel mode. I'm
Yeah,
in full hero
yesterday I
mode.
told a little girl I was going to rip her mask off and that she was stupid. She was like 8 years old.
Look at
It was
this.
awesome.
I love it. He's bringing it now.
Yeah, I was on my way out and she was laughing at me and I told her she was stupid. I mean,
Yeah, the first match I saw him in, I was like, he's being too nice. He's still Ryan Clum out there, and now you're yelling at 8-year-old girls.
I yell at
That's
everybody.
awesome.
I mean, at the last MPW show, I saw a kid who was missing his teeth, and I told him he was stupid because he didn't have any teeth. And I made fun of him for missing teeth. Yeah,
That is a natural thing. People lose their teeth.
I know, but I'm a heel, and
But why
you
not
know?
make him feel stupid
Yeah.
for it? He doesn't know that. He's like, oh.
That's
He
the
was
great
probably
thing.
so happy. He's
That's the
like, I
great
just got
thing
some
about-
money from the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, but you're stupid.
And then this guy with this beard is making fun of me. Who is he?
I'm a jerk.
Dean Ambrose makes his way to the ring. Rollins and Reigns retreat. And the match begins between Kane and Ambrose.
And like we said,
No bell.
We love, no bell. So
Yeah,
is it
that
even
was
official?
that was awesome. Yeah, it would be official. They just had a bell.
Yeah. I
They
think-
just have to stop the top.
Lawler even called it out. He was like, because the referee did like the hand signals, but Lawler even called it out. He's like, yeah, I feel like no bell is going to be trending on Twitter. Or something like that. I like that.
But then, like halfway through the match, they come down with the bell too, which I thought was
The
very
ref's
funny.
running
The
with
ref
it.
runs down back down with the bell,
And there
they
was a
caught
pop.
it on
They
camera
popped
too, which
him.
was great.
They popped for the bell. I've seen everything.
Yes. So there's no bell to match. We go to commercial for a quick second, and
Yeah, and can I just say real quick, thank you for WWE Creative for actually having the referee bring the bell down and not just there be a magic bell appearing again at some point in there, that we actually made that part of the story. That's smart, and that's the type of thing they forget to do a lot of times. So, good to them for bringing the bell back.
Yeah.
I like that.
P.S. Thank you to HW View for sending play-by-plays of the app on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he said something about I was right again, and I'm not quite sure what I was right about.
Yeah, I saw that. No, you're not right. He said.
Was I wrong
it was
about
because-
something?
He was like, "Oh, I'll be right. Big E was the secret Meyer." I was like, "No, it was AJ."
Oh, gotcha. We'll be getting
Yeah.
to that here.
Yeah.
So at the end of the match, Ambrose rolls out of the ring, and the rest of the Shield attacks Kane, causes DQ, and Kane wins.
Well, one thing I got some discrepancy with the commentary, and I'm sad that JBL didn't catch this, but they say you don't see Kane go to the top very often, yet Kane goes to the top rope every single match to do his flying lariat. I'm like, why did they just say that? Why? And usually JBL will be like, it's one of his like main moves in his repertoire, you know. Sad, but yes, I like how the Shield don't accompany their Shield member to the ring and
like
stay
that too.
there. I mean, they end up the same
end up
result.
down there
Yeah.
anyways.
It's the
but-
same
It
result.
doesn't really matter.
But it just shows like we're gonna give you a shot. We're tough. We're men.
And you know,
men, we're good.
It's hard to tell where they come when they do come down. Where are they coming from? Are they coming back down? Because you never see it. They slide in and they're there, but are they coming back
come
down?
From where Randy Orton
would come from the back probably. Yeah. So they probably go all the way to the back and then come in through a different
Out of
route. Okay.
nowhere.
They come out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
because they
Randy
do
Orton
come out
gets
of
his
nowhere. They do
signature
come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton come to the ring. and basically come together to get rid of the Shield,
Yeah.
help their brother out. And the announcers say that Bryan will face either Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, to be decided via the app.
By us.
We didn't get
Not
to vote.
us. Yeah, because we get screwed. But
West Coast does get screwed.
we totally get screwed.
We go to commercial, and then when we come back, Lawler announces that the results are in, and the app poll has determined that Daniel Bryan will face Rollins with 66% of the vote.
That was
Very
interesting.
proud of them.
Yeah, that was very interesting to me because I wasn't quite sure how this was going to go, if it's closer. Because, you know, Roman is the machine's kind of idea of what their superstars look like, you know, and Rollins is more the indie guy. And it was really great to see that the WWE universe recognized the great wrestler and the guy that has amazing matches with Daniel Bryan. The stuff that they do together is great. I believe they used to work in the indies against each other a little bit.
Oh, really?
I believe they knew each other ahead of time. Yeah, I think they had matches. I think you can find some.
I mean, they work so well together.
Yeah, and I think you can find. I'm not the biggest indie knowledge guy in the world, but I believe there are matches out there online of the two of them in the indies. So, so they've known each other for a while. But it was.
And
great.
I'd be interested to know if it was switched. If Bryan was the heel, I think the universe would have probably picked Roman to
It
teach
might
him
be.
a lesson.
Yeah,
and beat him up, you know?
possibly.
I always wonder how legit those polls are.
Well, Jericho, he told us.
Yeah, I think
it's legit.
Yeah, it seems like they're
Because they were saying Randy was going to get his match against Punk.
And who knows? I mean, there were a couple of them in the beginning. I don't think that were with the Twitter ones, and they seem to take some heat for that. So maybe they don't care.
On their,
but they
their
seem
own
pretty real
app,
right
though,
now.
they would be able to
To a lot more, absolutely,
Tweak
to
it,
tweak it.
sure.
But they seem to be because. If the WWE, I mean, you would just think
They
the way
want to
creative
give what
is
the fans want,
right?
anyways.
I mean, technically,
You should, right?
You would think, but you sit in New York and they chant "We want Ryder" and he's nowhere to be found. So that's not always true.
What did they have against him? People love him.
I have no idea.
I thought it's just Vince that doesn't like him.
Yeah, I mean, Vince
that's
might
the same reason why we haven't seen much of Brad Maddox recently, is because Vince doesn't like him.
Well, I think also because he had that one crappy flub, and he got blamed for it. I don't think it was completely his fault, but he got blamed for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
I think
Miz
it was a Miz TV or Jericho.
Yeah, Miz was out
So
there.
no, I think it was Miz TV.
His fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So backstage, Daniel Bryan and Orton arguing about what happened on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Kane gets involved. He's a little bit angry, and then Vicky Guerrero interrupts and says that you guys have a title shot for the tag team on Sunday. Payback.
Kane's like, what? Why do you get a tag title shot? I was like, well, because they beat him on SmackDown. He said, that's not fair. Like, and then of course, weirdly enough, Randy's like, I don't want this title shot.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
Did
Let's
you
just
guys
crap all
watch
over
their
the
match on
championships.
SmackDown though?
I didn't catch it. I just watched the end of it.
Yeah, I saw some of it.
It was weird. I don't know.
It was a lot.
Like, I felt like they didn't have much chemistry. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Well, obviously.
Just because
there was
I love, like, Daniel Bryan and Kane together.
They may have been
so.
off that night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think
I mean, they're not going to have the
too.
chemistry
They're not
of
gonna have
Daniel Bryan and
chemistry,
Kane
I
because they've
know.
been working a year together.
You know,
so
and
But
they
once you
drop kick
see
them.
that, you don't want him with anyone else.
yeah,
Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
that is.
They're just
yeah,
trying to
but
break
I mean,
up hell no.
it's for a month. It's fine.
Yeah. So, should we talk about Miz versus Cody?
But
Yes.
I'm glad they touched on it though. But oh my God, we got Brad Maddox out for the first time.
Ricky, baby.
Ever, and it's like the first time I wore my vest tonight. So I think
it's an omen.
I
Are
know.
you're so psyched Brad's back. You're more excited than she is.
Me?
Yeah. Are you not into Brad
I
anymore?
haven't seen him recently. I almost forgot about him.
She loves winners too.
Wow.
Remember?
So absence.
Does not make the heart grow fonder.
It did with me, Brad. Because now Fandango is
out of
concussed.
sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Cathy. Good
Kathy.
Lord.
Ooh.
Listen up, guys. All right.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Ryan Katz is definitely screwed now. You don't see him.
Tough.
Sorry, Smiley.
Zero.
Out of sight,
zero
out of
chance.
mind.
Should we say? I think he's hiding in chat roll
He
tonight.
might be.
Under some other name.
Is he?
I don't know. I just looked at chat roll and they said, "Is Cathy reading this?" So yes, occasionally
yeah.
I am.
They probably wrote that 30 seconds ago. So it's probably not.
Exactly.
But yeah, Kane's awarded a U.S. title shot against Dean Ambrose at Payback because
Yeah.
Vicky was like, yeah, well, you get that shot since it got ruined tonight.
Is there any chance that the
And
Shield's going to lose any of their championships this weekend?
No.
I don't think so.
Better not.
I hope not. It's
I don't
too
think so.
early.
I
if
mean,
they
I
do
think
that.
there is a chance, but I don't want it to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And they look
it's the
so
type of thing they
strong.
would do, but don't.
But on
please don't.
pay-per-views,
Yes.
pay-per-views they do really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're on fire.
We are also going to do a little prediction segment at the end of the episode for Payback.
Yeah.
So make sure you stick around. So in ring we have Miz, and setting up for the Miz versus Cody Rhodes
Yeah.
match.
This wasn't a very long
We got
match.
Wade Barrett at commentary.
Wade Barrett, the Barrett Barrage.
I think it's always weird having him on commentary though. Like I'd rather see him wrestling than.
I love how he
That's
talks.
just-
I love him as a talker too, though.
I love his accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hardest thing about
You
main
can
event for me
understand.
is listening to Miz on commentary for an hour. I'm like, stop.
Really?
please. Yeah, I don't.
Really? You're not a big
Really?
Miz fan, huh?
He's too much like me, like in real life, and I'm like, no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. So they were going to do the triple threat match at Payback, right?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Fandango, right?
But Fandango, another casualty, I guess.
Yeah.
He has a concussion. So
How did he get that concussion?
I just heard that he got it
missed
over the weekend. I
Okay.
don't know. I didn't look into it more
Classic
than that.
swags.
Classic swags.
Everyone's getting hurt. It's crazy.
All my guys are getting hurt.
Their
you know?
roster is like so thin right now.
No, it's huge. It's humongous.
Oh, yeah. There's 70
but
guys in
the guys at the
developmental.
top who've been getting the pushes are all getting hurt
Yeah.
now, and it's like, man, that sucks. So I'm glad you have like the Bray Wyatts and
They need to go grab like an RVD and just bring him back right now, and go get some sort of veteran that's got a name that's out there.
because you got RVD and Christian
And just
like ready to go, right?
Yeah, just bring somebody back in right now. Go, and I mean Christian's still under contract. I mean RVD would be a much bigger surprise because of the TNA thing, and but yeah, I think they need to go get somebody right now that's got some name value.
Yeah, they're already bringing Mark
Yeah.
Henry back. Mark
Yeah.
Henry's like, I'm going home for
Go get
a week and a
RVD.
half.
Go bring in RVD.
Yeah.
Give us a summer feud with him.
Him and Y2J would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be a hell of a fight.
But you'd bring RVD in probably as a babyface. Oh, or bring him in as another Heyman guy and just, yeah.
Yeah.
Another
was-
Heyman guy?
That was a rumor. Yeah.
So many Heyman
Yes.
guys.
That'd be awesome. Bring
more than
RVD
that.
as
Bring
another
him out
Heyman
there.
guy. The Heyman family.
Yes, the
That'd be
Heyman family
crazy.
versus
so
the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
Cody
Ooh.
Rhodes Miz match was kind of short.
Yeah.
Only like 2 minutes.
Poor Cody.
Squash.
Cody's
Don't do
not.
that to Cody.
Yeah.
I think Cody's been so good recently,
he's
and
been
they've
deep
been
pushed.
yeah.
Yeah, what was it like a
Fuck.
couple
He's
weeks
great.
ago? Cody almost went over on somebody.
It's like a year ago he had the Intercontinental reign and he had brought back like the original,
white.
like the white and
That
the
was
original, the
awesome.
classic title, and
I brought legitimacy to this
As
belt.
much as I loved him with Sandow, I was so happy when they split them up because I thought that both of
they
them were
split
going
him
to
up
get
for
a
a
push.
day. They split
Oh,
him
yeah,
up for a
they did.
day.
Yeah.
They split them up, and then the next day they put him back together. I think
Yeah.
it's crazy.
But you know,
But
now,
they're still
now
getting
they're not.
their
Yeah, yeah,
individual
you're
matches.
right. You're right. Yeah. Sandow's been getting some stuff on his own here.
I love this
yeah.
stuff with Sheamus.
But yeah, I mean, Cody had his own match here, but he's almost getting squashed. He's almost enhancement right now. You know,
And they completely
and he deserves
squashed
better.
the love stash thing and
Yeah.
nothing with Caitlyn anymore. I thought that
No.
was going to go somewhere, but
Yeah.
we learned tonight that
Well, maybe
Right.
he can pick up the pieces,
yeah, maybe.
or I'll pick up the pieces. Hey, Caitlyn.
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Give me your number.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of Mrs. Figure 4 tonight?
I thought it was all right.
Better than
It's just
when
not
it first
flashy
started.
when you're
just-
sitting on your butt putting it on. Like I love
mean,
the Ric Flair way. Finesse.
I'm not a huge fan of him doing the figure four. Not that he does it because of the way he does it. I'm just not a big fan of him with it. I like this skull crushing finale. I think they tried to force the figure four on him.
Yeah.
It's not like a natural move for him. It's like, oh, let's give him Ric Flair's move and
Yeah.
stick Flair in there with him. And
I think Dolph should have had it. Dolph should be
give him his own.
Really?
Yeah, Dolph would be awesome with that. Because you don't need
I
to be a
heard.
big guy.
I actually heard once Big Show talk about that they need to push a Dolph and give him the super kick.
Yeah, well, he
give him
does
Shawn,
it sometimes,
give him
right?
Shawn Michaels' super kick as a finish.
Yeah.
Give him the super kick as a finish. I saw Big Show talk about that once, and I thought that
cool.
was interesting.
So
Nice for the big guy to say that.
Yeah, I love the Big Show.
But yeah, Heyman comes out.
after
and
the match with Vicky, or I guess with news from Vicky, and basically talked about the triple threat match.
he said there will be a triple threat match.
Yeah, at Payback, and
Who could
will-
it be? I have no idea.
I
A
don't
man
like
who was
this.
3-0 on a COO.
Yeah, Yeah. So Jericho, Cena, and Triple H. Wait,
What?
right?
No.
It will be.
No.
I have that written down
Barrett,
wrong. Sorry.
Barrett, Miz, and Curtis
I'm looking at the wrong part of my notes. I was like,
what?
that doesn't sound right.
What in the world are you talking about?
Yeah, it's gonna be instead of Fandango, he has now thrown in.
It's
Axel.
better than
Now I'm going to get the drunk stuff in chat.
At least he didn't say some Kurt Hennig was alive after died 10
Wait,
years
he's
ago.
not?
Unfortunately. Not in this plane.
Yeah. So, yes, it will be with Curtis Axel. And I don't know. They're pushing him.
They're pushing him, all right.
He's gonna
I don't
get
know
it,
where
right?
they're pushing him to, but they're pushing him.
He's gonna get the.
He's going to get the
win,
IC.
right? He's gonna
They're going to put the
IC.
IC title on him.
Really?
The
Yeah.
machine's behind him.
Yeah, they were going to put it on. I bet you they would have put it on Fandango, and now that he's out, they'll put it on Curtis.
That really
That's my
sucks.
guess.
How long is Fandango going to be out for? I mean, I know that
don't
he's not
know.
going to be around for Payback,
Yeah,
but
I honestly
I
don't
don't think
know.
he's going to be out as long as Dolph was.
Well, it all depends on how many concussions he's had in the past,
Yeah.
and if he hasn't had any brain issues, he should be back fairly quick.
Yeah, but they're also pretty careful about that stuff right now. The head injuries, they're keeping guys out
Yeah.
for a few more weeks. Extra,
Well,
I
you
think.
said,
you see they kept Dolph out for a minute, for a little bit longer. Like he was cleared to wrestle right now.
Yeah.
And he's not wrestling, so they're
They're
taking their
it
time.
seriously.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that Curtis Axel's dad was known for having the IC title?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was the Intercontinental Champion. He actually won a tournament to get that and beat Tito Santana.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was he had a good run with the Intercontinental title back in the was that the early 90s? What is it, like 90,
Yeah.
91 when he did that? Yeah.
How do you think
Right.
that'll go over with the fans, though? I don't.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's he's kind of got a non-reaction right now, so we'll see. I mean, they're trying with him. I mean, and he's trying.
It'll just make the Heyman family look stronger.
I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. I was a huge fan of his dad. You know, I definitely model a little bit of myself after him. So,
Me too.
Yeah. So,
Dun, 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 dun.
when you made your entrance at MPW, you modeled yourself after Mr. Perfect.
Had the towel.
before we go to commercial,
You did have the towel.
Jericho walking down the hall. Mm-hmm. And after we get back, first, Mark Henry.
I was to say,
I
you
knew you were
almost
gonna
forgot.
call me out for that.
I was totally going to call you out on that.
Huge plug for Mark Henry returning to Raw
Yeah.
next Monday night.
Hall of Pain.
Yeah, somebody's going to get
Back in
ass
session,
kicked.
baby.
I don't know. He was looking kind of tired last time.
I don't know.
Maybe he got some rest.
He's rested.
Yeah, he got some rest.
Yeah.
He did
I don't
do that.
know.
Yeah, he was hurt and beat up, and
Weren't we talking about how it doesn't really seem like he wants to come back?
I hope
Yeah,
I hope he
yeah, I
does.
think-
I hope he comes back on a
Like,
House of
he's
Fire.
got
To
enough,
wrap up his
yeah.
contract.
They were
and be
really
done.
on this promo though. They were really pushing him like he's a monster. So hopefully they're going to try to.
Where
give
do you
him
think he'll go?
Another.
He just got beat by Sheamus like 2 weeks ago.
I don't. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe go after Big E.
Big E's a heel. Unless you put the heel turn on him, unless he picks up the pieces that we can talk about a little
I
later.
thought that Big E was going to turn face tonight.
Little bring back sexual chocolate.
We almost had flexible chocolate tonight.
Flexible
What?
chocolate. That's funny. Go ahead.
Okay, so Big E versus Jericho.
And didn't we have Steph and Vince?
Yeah.
in the back?
Steph and Vince, they were talking, and she was trying to, I guess, calm him down.
Yeah.
About everything.
And right before this, we get a recap of what happened literally
Yes.
50 minutes ago.
Yes.
Like, you don't put, and you show the
A really
whole thing.
long recap,
Show the whole
too.
thing.
They basically replayed the entire segment. It was like, oh my god.
For
I
this-
loved the segment the first time, and
Yeah.
I have it on DVR, so I don't need you guys to replay the entire thing for me 45 minutes later.
So basically, Steph tells Vince that she wants him to talk to Triple H, smooth things over.
Mm-hmm.
And he's being a little brat about it.
Yeah, he's pissed, and
Yeah.
and he said, what do you say? He said, "You're not." If I go up and talk to him, he's not gonna like what I have to say, and he's not gonna like the way I say it. So you need to go.
The only reason he wants to do this is because of his pride. You think I give a damn about his
Yeah.
pride?
That's a good Vince impression.
You gotta.
Oh, that's Stephen
Sounds
Vince.
like
I'm sorry, I'm
Batman.
not. Yeah. I'm sorry, I quoted Triple H there. But Vince made that quote too. I heard him say that. And
I don't care about his pride. I care about WWE. I care about this business.
And here's another little small thing I think was really good that they did in this writing is that Vince referenced the bit between Triple H and Steph because he saw it on TV. He didn't just not know it happened. It was this secret thing, and they're like, oh well, blah blah blah. Like he referenced their conversation because he saw it, and I like when they do that a little bit because it makes sense. They forget that stuff sometimes, and that was another good little logical bit.
Vince would be watching it because he's
there's some good little
That's what you said about me.
Some good little logical things that you can see that are usually that they can get into those writing traps, and they avoided some of those tonight that I really like the way they did that.
You can tell that they got new writers in the past couple months.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the style's changed a little bit.
Yeah. There's less holes.
So Chris Jericho is in the ring, and Cole, I guess, talks about his match on Sunday versus CM Punk. They plug that again. And we have a match between Jericho and Big E. Dolph is back.
And Dolph comes
Walks
out
him
and
to
he's
the
like,
ring.
hey, I'm going to be at Payback.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And he talked about his concussion, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was also saying, Jericho's out there talking about his match with CM Punk. Dolph comes out and says, hey, I got a match with Del Rio. Y2J makes fun of Dolph for talking about his match with Del Rio. And he's like, dude, you were just talking about your match with CM Punk. You can't make fun of me about me talking about my match. So why don't you face Big E Langston? Let's go. Big man.
So
And he looks good. Big E has been looking good.
Big E's been looking great.
This is the first time, and I know that you guys have said this before, but he looked like a bulked up version of Jaleel White.
Oh, okay, yeah. You mentioned that.
And then, of course, there was a commercial later in the night for a show with Jaleel White. Perfect, called Total Blackout.
You're right.
Total Blackout.
Big E's been impressing me in everything he's been doing. Recently, his in-ring work has been very good. His mic work has been pretty good. His character stuff, he's got a lot of potential. I mean, the guy at first when he first came in, I thought, here's the next Ezekiel Jackson. He's just a big buff guy that is going to have no personality and isn't going to be able to work and is just a body. And he's proved me wrong. I mean, he's got character, he's got personality. He can wrestle. I mean, he seems to really get it. So I'm really becoming a big fan of Big E.
Yeah, he's a long way from when he started, when he was like, I've got the mic now.
And he's only been wrestling a few. And think about this. He got signed. I mean, he was a guy that got signed and had never wrestled before. Yeah. And I think he only got signed 3 or 4 years ago. So he's only been doing this for 3 or 4 years. And he's gotten pretty good at it. So it'll be very interesting to see where he is 5 years down the road if he can keep improving. Because he can get pretty. I think he's going to get really good.
I think he's going to.
He has potential to be very, very good.
Who would you compare him to, though?
Right now?
No one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't think that far ahead.
So during the match, Del Rio runs out and hits Dolph, which distracts Big E. Jericho ends up winning.
Yeah, another face doing a heelish move and running out and attacking.
Yeah, what was that all about?
They do that. It's tweener. Everyone's tweeners now.
Yeah.
Not the kind of tweeners I want. I don't like that. I don't like the Sheamus tween. He's not a tweener.
Del Rio, Miz, Sheamus are all like tweeners right now.
I don't think that.
Sheamus is a cool kid that's a dick. Yeah, he's
an a-hole.
He's turned into one recently.
He is. He's completely turned into one. Yeah, he's a complete bully.
Yeah.
He's an absolute bully.
But the difference is these 3 guys you just mentioned play to the crowd. I want a tweener who doesn't give a crap about the crowd, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, I'm going to do my thing, and I'm out. If Sheamus was going to be a bully, and be a bully to bad guys and good guys if they mess with you. But leave. But this whole, you want to see me beat up Damian Sandow's arms, huh? Come on, let's see it.
You're a nerd. I'm going to kick your computer.
Shut up, nerd. I don't like it.
My computer
that's vandalism.
A constant vandalism.
Yeah, he's attacking, destroying personal property.
My computer froze, so no.
Abandoned ship.
I knew that we had a commercial in there somewhere, and then Sin Cara.
Sin Cara versus Antonio Cesaro.
Okay.
Do
you guys not like Sin Cara? I feel like you were giving him a little bit of
I don't dislike,
crap during the match.
I was. Well, it's not that I don't like him. He was brought in to kind of be the next Rey Mysterio. He was this big luchador in Mexico, and I don't think he's like the superstar. He has not panned out to be even close what they thought he was going to be.
His debut, he was botching.
He botches a lot of spots. He's very spotty. He's learned. He's gotten better.
Yeah.
That when they put him with Mysterio, it really helps season him to the American style
Mysterio
a lot
was,
better.
yeah.
But he's amazing. But yeah.
I like him because I feel like they don't have a flyer right now who's doing that sort of stuff, and it's kind of refreshing.
And they don't, and it's cool they have right now. And I'm not saying like it's bad. They need to get rid of Sin Cara because they don't. Because you're absolutely right. It's the lucha style. It's cool to have, and it's different. But Rey Mysterio brought that in and took it to world championship level. He took it to selling tons of T-shirts and becoming a giant star. I don't think Sin Cara is there. He doesn't talk. He doesn't have that character. Mysterio did.
Is it because they haven't let him talk yet?
I don't know that he speaks English. You also got to realize he's actually from Mexico as well.
I always wondered.
So I don't know what his English is like. The guy that I think is probably going to be the person that is going to be the next Rey Mysterio of that is a guy they're just signed or in the process of, named Samurai Del Sol, who's kind of got the stature of Mysterio. He's like 5'4".
Yeah.
He's kind of got the same build. Super exciting. I've gotten to
really cool
actually be in a locker room several times with him.
Cool.
And work
you've
several
seen him
shows.
naked?
No, towels.
You're being weird. When you said that, you're like, I've seen him in the locker room.
I didn't say.
You immediately go,
I did not say I saw him in the locker room. I said I shared a locker room with him on shows. We've been on a couple shows together. But he's an amazing talent, and he does the full mask thing as well. But his personality oozes out of the mask. I'm telling you, when you see this guy, hopefully they don't demask him and they let him kind of come in and. Because I think he will take the spot that they have for Sin Cara that they thought Sin Cara was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll eventually move out Mystico and go back to Mexico.
How do they call spots with people that don't speak English? When they go to Japan or when they're going against these luchadors, how are you calling spots in the ring with these
You don't
guys?
call spots. You just do it.
What if something happens?
Or sometimes it's an art. You have to know how to do it.
That was a really intricate match between Sin Cara and Cesaro too. Like
sure.
it looked like some Dancing with the Stars stuff.
and they'll call moves. Like if you're in Japan, they'll say moves supposedly in English. They'll say like brainbuster for suplex, and they'll call those. Yeah, they'll call those moves, but. I mean, when I was at Ring of Honor, they were even talking about, like, if you go to Japan, you have to know how to do stuff without calling anything in spots. You just have to know how to feel off people's bodies because there's a language barrier.
Yeah.
And you can't talk things over.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Zeb Coulter was
One of
also.
the things people don't understand about pro wrestling. They think it's all choreographed. It's all the words fake and choreographed are two words I don't like because it's not choreographed. It's an improv a lot of times.
Tell him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Sin Cara versus Cesaro. Zeb Coulter was sitting on the side doing some commentary.
No Sin Cara lights.
What?
No Sin Cara lights.
Yeah.
The source of his power.
Oh yeah, the yellow lights. I hate those.
Cesaro's got this one.
I don't like. I don't know. Where's
Swagger?
Swagger?
Swagger's hurt, so it was weird that Zeb was out on his
I
own.
thought that he was out because for a while because the matches were in Canada and he wasn't allowed in Canada.
I think there was something
like
with that too. I guess there's a wrist injury or something. I just read about that the other day. I actually did not know that either. I was wondering where he was as well.
Classic Swags.
Classic Swags.
But-
This match was really great. Cesaro can work with anybody. His basing is so good.
He's versatile, yeah.
Swinging Sin Cara all over his
Oh my
body. for
gosh,
those
that looked
moves.
so cool. And you said that was all Cesaro. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
when you're working with somebody like not everybody can, and that's a thing too when you're dealing with guys like a Sin Cara is they're so dependent on their base and the other guy they're working with to make those moves look good. And not everybody can work with guys like that. Not everybody can base for that lucha stuff. And Cesaro can. I mean, he can work any style. I mean, I'm sure he can work a Japanese style. He works American, works Mexican lucha. I mean, he's amazing. He's amazing. He can do anything.
They had a match a few weeks ago on Main Event, and Sin Cara actually beat him. But it was
Was that a couple weeks ago, or was that the one that was right before Mania, where they were leading up to Mania? I think that's the stuff. That was like 2 or 3 months ago. That was like in March they had that match.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That was leading into Mania.
Yeah, because I haven't seen Cesaro in months, yeah.
Yeah. So Cesaro ends up winning the match, and we see a little Wyatt family.
Well, Zeb's a fan of Cesaro. He was talking some good stuff about this European.
Which is odd because
maybe he's like
heel, so
yeah.
American.
The Europeans do it right.
But at the same time, if you go with the Zeb character, he would say doing it the right way because American's the great melting pot, and we're a country that brings in people from other countries. That's what this country was built on.
Zeb would say that?
Right.
Yes, if you're talking about Cesaro, because he's an American. America's the great melting pot. So why would he like Cesaro? Because Cesaro does it the right way. Cesaro's coming in and wanting to be an American. He's doing it the right way. Guys like Sin Cara are doing it the wrong way.
They don't even speak English.
Yeah, he's not
They climbed over the wall.
Right.
Okay.
So it absolutely would be in character for him. You can absolutely spin it that way because he's the heel, so he's going to like the heel.
I would just say that Zeb Coulter wouldn't like him because he's so patriotic, and Cesaro is so patriotic for.
But Cesaro's
his
a heel,
country.
so they're on the same team.
Okay.
Yeah, if this was
the way it works.
Sometimes
if it
he
was
also
the
likes
way it
each
works,
other.
There's two teams like Republicans and Democrats. If you're a heel, you're a good friend. You like the other heels.
Sometimes heels don't like each other.
Once in a while.
So Wyatt family.
Wyatt family, I can't wait for this.
Parents,
that the
I need you
same-
to stop lying to your children. Awesome promo.
Was that the same promo or video that we've
Same
pretty much
footage,
seen?
but
it's
cut a
same
It was a
style,
different
okay.
cut, right? It was
There
a
was
different.
two-
It was an actual
There was
different.
two
There
different
was two
cuts last
videos.
week. A fast-paced one and the original kind of slow-paced one.
Yeah.
And this week had a little bit of different stuff.
I heard that Audrey Marie, or the girl who was cut, was in one of them.
I think it was
Yeah, it
somebody
was
else
last week.
though. It
We
wasn't.
talked-
We talked about that last
yeah,
week, but then I read it was somebody else in there, and
somebody
this is actually new footage, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, then
Excited about them. So
we end up
excited.
going to commercial and coming back to them plugging Sheamus and Sandow this Sunday
Pre-show free.
on the pre-show.
It'll be on YouTube, right?
Is it on YouTube?
Should be.
Probably, yeah.
Are they doing another post-show as well for the pay-per-view?
I don't know. See how well
know.
it did last time.
Well, we are doing a post-show
Yeah, we
right
will be.
here on AfterBuzz TV. Really quickly, I do want to plug our amazing creators, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, have a new movie out, The Adventures of Serial
yeah.
Buddies. It is a hysterical comedy, kind of in the vein of Dexter meets Dumb and Dumber. Two serial killers go on a road trip, kill a bunch of people on the way, but it's got an all-star cast. Henry Winkler, Artie Lang, Maria Menounos obviously is in it. Kathy
Doc
Gifford.
Brown. I love Doc Brown. Christopher Lloyd.
1.21 gigawatts.
Run for it, Marty.
There are so many people in it. You can find it on iTunes, rent it or download it. So definitely check it out. It came out May 29th, so very recently. But, you know, buying it, renting it indirectly helps support AfterBuzz. We give
Absolutely.
you all this great free content. Or
And they put so
okay,
much
free
work
content.
into this, man. They worked so many years
Oh my gosh,
on that. Because I remember when Maria did her first Raw, they were actually talking about Serial Buddies. They played some footage on Raw.
They did, yeah. If you guys
a few
remember
years
that,
back. Yeah.
I think it was 2.5 years ago. They
Her first appearance.
and this has been in the making for quite some time. They
Yeah.
filmed it on location in Connecticut, and then you know it's being edited and whatever else. So
And I'll tell you, I have a little bit experience in film and TV, and it is the hardest thing in the world to make a movie, especially when you're doing it on your own without
indie
studio
movie,
backing.
yeah.
It's incredible because you run out of money and then you have to stop doing stuff and then go back, and it's incredible, and you're working off people's schedules, and it's so hard to do and takes so much time, and it's an amazing accomplishment that these guys did.
yeah, so definitely check it out. And then also, I just want to plug real quick. AfterBuzz TV does about 60 other shows a week. So if you're a fan of anything, check us out on iTunes. You can just type in AfterBuzz TV, find our show, subscribe.
I
rate
meant
and
to watch
comment.
the Game of Thrones one last night, but I haven't gotten around to it
Oh
yet.
yeah,
I
it was
watched
just
them-
uploaded today.
Yeah, okay, I watched the one last week. Those guys are actually really good.
They
I
were at
watched
John
them.
Lovett's, right?
Yes, they did.
Oh, that's right. They did the John
live
Lovitz thing.
podcast. Yes.
I was wrestling last night, so I couldn't go. I really wanted to, but yeah.
Yeah,
Those guys
so
are good.
if you're a fan of Game of Thrones,
America's Kaori Takei, America's Got Talent. I saw the other day.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
She's doing that.
Oh, and then
Another
we
show
also
I'm a big fan of.
have other WWE shows like
Yes.
SmackDown and Main Event.
We got Rick Drazen, the Ballard brothers, Shannon Ballard, Rick Drazen and Shannon Ballard, who are both two guys who trained me. And now they have Little Egypt from Glow in there. They've got a really good show going on over there right now, and main event.
She's also doing Steve Austin's Redneck Island. So.
And then we got Christian Rosenberg over on main event.
Yes.
With Kaori as well.
Check them all out and give us 5 stars.
And Cameron Cash.
We love 5 stars.
Yes.
So back to Raw tonight. Got a little sidetracked.
That's okay. We're talking after Buzz.
Exactly. So we come back from commercial, and we mentioned the announcers plugged Sheamus versus Sandow on Payback for the pre-show, and then we go back to see Vicky Guerrero and your boy, Brad Maddox.
We call them Bricky.
Bricky.
Team Bricky.
Yes.
You sounded like Brad Maddox right there. That was good.
Thank you.
They're plugging Carl's Jr.
Hardee's from where we are. We're from.
Oh, yes.
We're coming from Richmond, Virginia. That's the Hardee's.
That's
out
Hardee's.
There. But yeah, Hardee's, Carl's Jr. And she's munching down on this burger. And poor Brad.
I always think it's weird when companies have multiple names.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know why they do
Panera,
that.
St. Louis Bread Co.
I think this.
It's the bread company up north?
I think because Carl's Jr. bought Hardee's at one point. I think there were different companies at one point. Hardee's is South and East Coast, and they used to have a different logo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This guy.
Fun facts.
Yeah, I'm old. I know things.
So basically doing a live commercial talking about how great those burgers are, and
Painful.
I definitely wanted one.
The best is, I think it was later on, is when they showed Jerry Lawler
gosh.
staring that thing down, and we're all going, "Don't eat it, Jerry! No, don't
Why
eat
are
it!
you doing this to him?
Don't eat it! There's 6 pieces of bacon on that or
It's
something."
like the most caloric, fatty burger, and he is just salivating over it
Staring
like it's
at
a
it.
17-year-old girl.
Oh my
like it was
God.
so bad.
And that's probably what he looks like 17-year-old girls like that, knowing Jerry Lawler the way we do.
But yeah,
Yes.
Vince is eating on this thing, or Vince comes in while Vicky's chewing on this thing,
she's
and he's
just
like
chowing
and he's
down.
like chew and swallow, and she's like, "Oh, sorry," and he tells her like, "Why are you setting up this face-to-face with your 2 main eventers for our next pay-per-view Sunday? Why are you having them do this tonight?" And she's like, "Well, I thought it'd be good TV," and he's like, he said, "What do you think would be a better idea to protect my investment?" And she's like, "I don't know." And old Brad comes in there and says, "How about we bring the Lumberjacks out to keep them apart and safe?" And it also brings attention to the 3 stages of hell match. And he kind of lost his confidence. He's not like
He wasn't as
smirky
funny
and-
tonight.
He's a little shaken, but he's
a little shaken. It's Vince.
I think it's because it's around Vince, yeah.
But when Vince liked it, it gave Brad
Gave him a little thing. He
Gave
goes,
him a little,
"Now that's smart thinking."
Yeah,
But the best
like,
line was, "Vicky, if you can think as well as you can chew, you can come up with something good." She's
my
like,
God.
And he was like, "That's good thinking."
That's funny.
Share
and
your burger with
her
with
leopard
Brad.
napkins and everything.
Yeah. And then he said, and then he called him Brad, and I was like, he just should be psyched. Vince knows his name.
That's awesome.
It's probably because he had to yell at him several
job,
weeks
man.
ago.
Heard
so
several
much.
stories about Vince
Fire
going, "Who
that
is this
Brad
guy?"
kid.
I heard a. Hold on, sorry.
Getting
Oh,
calls.
look at that! I
Mr.
forgot
Popular.
to turn my buzzer off. I heard a story once about a guy who was on, and I forgot who it was, but a guy that was on the roster, and he went out and had a match, and Vince like went off and like, "We need to sign this guy," and then he had been on the roster for like 2 years. I forget who it
Thanks
was,
a
but
lot.
I've heard stories of things like that before.
Yeah. So Vince leaves and basically tells Vicky to share her
Share the burger
food.
with Brad.
And Vicky thinks that Brad made her look bad.
Yeah.
So
Maybe I'm hoping we get more Team Bricky in here.
Team
and
Bricky.
have
I
like a
love Team
power
Bricky.
struggle between them. That'd be good.
yeah. So back to the ring. Randy Orton is introduced, and he is going to face Roman Reigns.
And Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins are out there at ringside to be ready to jump in there and have their singles match as well.
And a DQ.
Right.
So,
I didn't like how this match went because, you know, Rollins runs in there, but he doesn't touch Randy. Randy throws Rollins out of the ring, and then Bryan comes in and goes, "I got you," and he jumps and suicide dives onto Roman Reigns. And
he's
Seth
been
Rollins.
suicide diving so much
lot.
lately.
Yeah, he's been hitting that a lot.
and the top rope.
Superman. He's been flying.
See, you and Christian said that. I disagree. I think this is okay the way this is thrown out And it wasn't just a DQ. I was fine with the throw out and the no contest.
It would have been better, like, because then you get 1-1, and then you set up payback for the.
Everyone starts
rubber
getting
match.
involved. Instead of the referee setting anything out, he just throws it out.
That's cool.
Throws
as
it out.
long as they do this more often. If they do that more often, I don't see that.
I was okay with the throw out. I thought that was fine. I mean, yes, I understand if you technically think this person hit this person, but you also got a referee who's got 4 guys. He's trying to get into control, and who knows what he sees and what he's not, and he sees shenanigans. I'm just not going to take it. We're not 0 strike rule. We're throwing the match out. I was okay with it.
That'd be cool if they give these refs like kind of characters. Like, what if you had like the hard-nosed ref who's just like, I'm not. He does that all the time. If that happens,
they've
like
tried.
A nicer.
They've done stuff like that in the past.
Yeah,
but
not as bad as.
Right now, the refs are nameless. Like for a long time, they weren't even saying the refs' names. If you'd noticed, now they're going back to saying names. I think a little bit, but for a while they wouldn't even say the referees' names. They were just the referee.
But you don't need to go as evil as like Earl Hebner and Dave Hebner.
Or Danny Davis, Dangerous Danny Davis back in the day.
What's the guy that looks like Eastbound and Down from WCW? He was the guy Patrick.
I mean, there was Nick Patrick, but that's not the guy you're talking about. You're talking about the guy with the mustache and the long hair,
the long
right?
Curly
That
mullet
was
who went heel.
I forget his
Nick
name.
Patrick.
Haven't a lot of wrestlers like come from being like they started out as the refs?
A lot of wrestlers start. Sometimes that's you don't see that as much anymore. It's a different world
wasn't
today.
It Brad Maddox?
Just with Brad Maddox.
Recently, Brad Maddox.
That was the only one I was actually thinking of.
Yeah, you're like, wasn't that?
Wasn't there a couple? I just don't want to name any names.
That was different. That was a storyline thing. They moved him up and started him as a referee in WWE, but he was always a wrestler in NXT and growing up. Back in the day, a lot of times when guys start first training, they would ref first, and then they would finally start to get matches. So that old school, you would see that. You don't see that as much anymore.
Yeah.
Like Bret Hart refereed his father's up in Stampede, and usually you would work your way up. You'd be ripping tickets, and you'd be setting up the ring, then you get the referee, and then you finally get to go and be a jobber, and then you get to put guys over and start to get moved up.
Goldust would
back
ref
and I'm
matches,
talking back in the 70s, 60s, 80s. The territory days. That's how things worked.
Yeah. So it was no contest, and then Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins match begins.
Mm-hmm.
Great match.
Right away, great match.
Such a good match.
Yeah.
Probably the best of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And
I did like
just
that second match between Triple H and Axel. That was really good.
the
Are you joking?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
yeah. It wasn't that.
I was like, you got a dead ass.
That joke did not go over.
No, it didn't get over.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Bryan, as we've said, he's just been so consistent lately and always delivers.
Always.
And the Shield is amazing as well.
Yeah, all you have to do is look at the crowd with those yes chants. The place goes crazy for him.
Yeah, Richmond, Virginia actually woke up for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, they were kind of quiet
It's the
tonight. It
South.
was like the first match, and then they were dead.
Kathy, it's the South. What do you expect?
I thought you would have some
He's
of
from
your friends
New
there.
England.
But they were hot during the Triple H curse Axel segment in the beginning.
Great. That was a great segment.
Yeah, I mean, is it the crowd or was it the show? I mean, they were hot. They were hot in the great segments. I mean, so I don't
Even
think
with the Daniel Bryan
crowd was
stuff,
a problem.
They were going nuts with Bryan at the high points, but during that Rollins match, most of the majority of the time there was nothing going on with the crowd. They were quiet and then really loud and then quiet again.
Yeah.
There were a ton of chants for him, like the entire time. Basically,
it looked huge.
Let's go,
great.
Bryan chants. The yes chants.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
This is awesome. They actually did that. I was proud of.
What was the what chant you were talking about?
That Stone Cold Steve Austin used to say, what to everybody, and so
it was so bad
for years. I mean, like 10 years after he retired, people are still whatting. I mean, you'd be at shows that he wouldn't even be on, and everyone's doing
all the
what.
wrestlers had to change their way of talking in the ring because of that.
And you just have to learn to ignore it. But
like whenever Nash comes back, like when Nash came back to go with CM Punk, like he still had that old way of talking. People started doing the what chants to him. Those long pauses. And when I said this, I meant, and everybody would throw in a what in between. So it's
the yes chants have helped eliminate that because you don't really hear the what's anymore. And you were hearing them up until the Daniel Bryan yes chants. And I remember even on AfterBuzz when we first talked about it, we were like, maybe this will finally replace the what's, and it has seemed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had someone text me and they said that they thought this was a pay-per-view quality match because I mean it was so long too.
Yeah.
It was like 15 minutes or something like that on Raw.
But we've seen that with the Shield the last month. Ever since, I mean, these guys are literally carrying like these. The Shield and Daniel Bryan and Kane are literally carrying the wrestling on Raw right now. It's for the last month.
Yeah, here's a
They're getting
third of our time slot.
Exactly.
You guys take it.
Huge chunks of the show are going to these guys in ring work, which, you know, kudos to them. It shows how well the Shield is doing. That they trust them to give these young guys, you know, that much time.
Yeah. So after we get this amazing match, we have a recap of earlier tonight. Another very long recap of the drama between Stephanie, Triple H, and Vince.
In case you didn't see it, hour 1.
Yes.
Here it is again.
Or
All right.
the other recap
In
that
hour
we had.
1.
Yeah, we had 2. We saw it twice in
Yes.
hour 1. So now we get to see it again.
And then they tease that we will finally see who Caitlyn's secret admirer
The Bachelor
is.
fan have been so excited about this.
I woke
this
up.
is what you've been waiting for.
I've been waiting for this because I thought that we weren't going to get any resolution
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, what was going on, and we finally did.
And the poor
And
thing,
it did
she's
not
standing out there.
disappoint. Oh my
this
gosh.
was one of the best. This is
I'm
actually a pretty
here.
good segment.
Pretty good segment. This was a phenomenal storyline. They did.
Here's the female segment right here. It was
Take it
good.
away, Cathy, take it away.
It was so
I
good.
enjoyed this.
And
This
the
is good.
setup. This has been what, like a month and a half in the making, and
Maybe longer.
Maybe even longer. I mean, these two were like best
Was
friends.
it pre-Mania that they were doing the Secret Admirer, or was it after Mania the Secret Admirer thing going on? I can't remember.
I think it was
It's been going on a long
around
time.
Mania.
Yeah.
It was right around when they brought the Bellas back.
Yeah.
Because
So that's pre-Mania.
and so many people were, you know, wondering whether it was the Bellas, whether it was Cody Rhodes. Who else was thrown out there? There was
Big, Biggie, we
Big
always
E
thought
was
Biggie.
thrown out
Biggie, yeah, we
there.
always
We're
thought it was
hoping for
Biggie.
Big E.
Christian Rosenberg actually said in the car today, and I was like, "You're a genius if this happens." It was Bray Wyatt. He was like, "Oh, what if this is how they bring in the Wyatt family and the Wyatt? They were the secret
They were
admirers.
doing it the whole
Yeah.
time.
Come join the Eater of Worlds."
Yes. Well, turned out to be Biggie, but not in the way
No,
we thought it was.
This was
He
great though.
was
Before it was
This
awesome.
was
so Biggie
so good.
on Biggie, his acting, like
Everything
he
was
felt,
on point.
He felt like he was stumbling over his words. He was nervous, but it wasn't like
Looked so
I
organic.
couldn't tell if it was real
It
or
was very organic because
Yeah.
it wasn't
Played it
like
so
it
well.
didn't feel like he was flubbing his lines that were written for the segment. It felt like he was a guy who was putting his heart out there for a girl that he likes, and he's all stumbling over his because he's nervous, and it was so good the way he did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then Caitlyn's reaction.
the pause.
understand.
Okay, so the pause between the kiss.
But at first she wasn't
Yeah.
like happy,
She
but
was
then
reluctant.
she starts to turn over you, like you see
And he
like Biggie
grabs.
bringing her and like getting her closer, and you can see the anticipation.
The
Caitlyn,
tension.
like the tension. She was very good in that. I'm a little hard on her sometimes, but
Yeah.
she was very very good
Yes.
tonight
And
with,
she
with all
looked
that.
good.
She looked fantastic,
excellent.
and then
You
then
guys
he
liked
does
her
the dip.
outfit.
I love. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well done, well done.
Yeah, very good, Caitlyn. I like the outfit tonight. Yeah. So it was awesome. Yeah, he grabs her, pulls her in,
Gives her a dip.
dips her, and we're yelling either kiss her or drop her, kiss her or drop her.
And then
I did not. He drops her. I totally thought he was gonna go face. Like I thought that this
This
was
was
just
it. That's what they
you know
set us up
him
for.
defying AJ.
him and AJ weren't getting along a few
Once
weeks ago.
he dipped her and he held her for a second, you knew it was going to be the drop. It's a classic wrestling move.
So
Poor
freaking
thing laid
good.
out like that.
But then it also makes Caitlyn look really, really vulnerable.
But then
and
AJ
stupid.
comes out and you know explains why she did this whole thing, which Christian mentioned when we were sitting in there. I thought it was a really good point that segment gave more development to the Divas than they've done in a year or two. I mean, that whole little 10-minute segment put so much meat and so much just detail into that. It was really, really well done.
And there's going to be so many people talking about this. I want to see what the ratings look like. This is what you need to do with the Divas division. Give them some time.
It makes it mean something. It makes this feud mean something now. So when we see them wrestle on Sunday, you know, it's going to mean something.
And it's all coming together too. It's not just you know, Caitlyn and AJ. It's also involving Cena and Daniel Bryan and Big E and Dolph and all of these people, and it's all coming together. Like, these are the type of segments that you need to be writing.
And you know, it's so funny. It's like since the beginning, like we're waiting for Big E to turn face. We like him so much, and he's with them. We want him to turn face. And it's like there's a couple times you think it's going to happen, and they pull it back. So maybe that's smart. It's like everyone really wants him to turn face. Here's the teased face turn, drops her. You know, it's cool because I want him to be a face really badly, and I like the fact that they teased that and they pulled it away.
I just don't want it to happen too soon. I don't want him to have a Virgil situation.
No, I agree with you. And tonight was perfect because it's like, yeah, he's gonna turn face and we're gonna get this great thing, and then they pull it away from you, and it was like great. Biggie was excellent tonight. Again, the last couple weeks he's just been phenomenal. Everything he did tonight, his wrestling match, and then this was great.
Now here's my thought on this.
Yes.
Okay. Because I also thought it might have been Bray Wyatt coming out to do this, but this falls even more into what I hope is going to happen. Now think about this: we get to Payback. AJ goes over Caitlyn strong, beats Caitlyn down. She's beaten. She's crying. She's lost everything. That's the perfect time for the Wyatt family to come to us, and I'll take care of you. She's the first convert.
I like that.
To have a woman. She would have a great look with them. She's big. She's like that. China size almost.
I like it.
Would be awesome.
Don't compare her to China.
No, I mean, she's strong. She's not like a little girl.
She's a bodybuilder like China was. I mean, that's why he is. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. But it's like having another, and she's not just a chick with you.
Yeah.
It's like she's another gun.
I mean,
very cool. Very cool. I like that idea a lot. I like that idea a lot.
At the same time, they could bring back the Cody Rhodes storyline and have him
pick up the pieces. But somebody needs to pick up the pieces with Caitlyn. But I agree. She needs to hit rock bottom. If you want to go storyline-wise, she needs to lose her title. She needs to hit rock bottom.
So you guys think that she's going to lose the title?
She needs to.
That's my thought. I hope Bray Wyatt
I can see it.
If you want
come to us, child. I'll take care of you.
I agree. If you want to go with what they set up tonight, now Caitlyn's just lost everything. Which I always said I thought she looked a little bit silly and desperate by having the secret admirer and being so excited. But like it could be anybody. Like, you know, and you're a beautiful girl. It probably gets hit on every friggin' day of the week. Not every day, every second of the day.
Girls like secret admirers.
And it's a guy she connected with too. He knew her so well.
I mean, it could be the
way a best friend would know you.
Haven't you ever watched Catfish? I mean. Seriously, watch that and you'll never want a secret admirer again because you'll see what they are. Usually the opposite of what you think they are.
Yeah.
A crazy bitch.
Yeah.
But someone who just gets her. She thought someone got her.
Yeah.
The Simpsons stuff.
And it ended up being her best friend, someone who knew
got her.
Well.
Yeah.
Who got her?
He got her.
Got her good.
Got her.
Oh. So. Yeah, that perfectly. That was also one of the best plugs for Payback on Sunday to see like.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see these girls fight now.
Yes.
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 Yeah,
AJ
and
says the
Caitlyn
only
needs
thing
to
that
come in House of Fire and just attack AJ and go for the jugular.
AJ said the only thing you have worth anything is the Divas title, and come Sunday you won't even have that. Mm-hmm. Then, as you were talking about, someone who can pick up the pieces, the Wyatt family. We get their promo.
Second one of the night.
Second one of the night. So they're definitely coming soon.
Yeah,
this one was good. World Eater.
My guess would be we will see Bray Wyatt either this Sunday or most likely the following next Monday on Raw. Would make sense when to debut him either at a pay-per-view or the night after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because what's after Payback? Money in the Bank, right? Money in the Bank at SummerSlam. So
there it is.
That's coming up so soon. Woo. Money in the Bank is July, and then SummerSlam's August, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Money in the Bank's a pretty big event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
So we go to commercial, come back, and in the ring we have Damian Sandow, And
ladies and gentlemen, this match is brought to you by
I was about to
Hardee's,
say
the
this,
new bacon thick burger.
and this is
What are
when
you doing?
the bacon fat
What are we
caloric
hearing?
burger that Lawler is drooling over.
That's the point, right?
Thank God he did not eat that on camera.
He ate it afterwards, and
yeah,
because he was saying,
really
"Oh, I
feel
can't
like
wait
he
to
ate it
sit back here and eat
afterwards.
my dinner." It wasn't like they were like going, "Well, I don't know if you get to eat that." They were pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, well Jerry's going to eat this as soon as." He didn't do it on camera, but
he's done that before in the past couple months.
Oh, he's been
after his heart
shoving-
attack, he's been eating stuff on camera, and it's so like,
they were doing Sonic stuff, and he was shoving fried food
so
down his throat.
awful.
But how much does Hardee's have to pay these people?
A lot.
To not only have you have two segments involving it, and you have the freaking announcer live in the venue say it out to your crowd, to your live crowd. Why do we need to do this?
I don't think Hardee's had to
money?
pay Lawler
How much
anything.
did you
They
have
make
to
so
talk
much
about?
money off that. It's
How
a
much money? My
it's a
God.
corporation, as much as they can make. If
When
they
do
can
you
make
say
every
no?
penny in the world, and everyone could be poor, and they would own every penny, they would do it.
Yeah.
It's a company. It's a corporation.
It's at least 6 or 7 figures.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
big. It's
You get Justin Roberts to say it then. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
My God.
So
But still, it's something about the prestige and the heritage of this
and
sport.
on that, and that's still a big show, big demographics. Raw wrestling does huge numbers still. I
Yeah.
mean, even though they're down, it's still big numbers. Still
Yeah.
getting 3 to 4 million people a week watching
sure,
it
for sure.
in key demographics.
only 3 to 4 million.
In key demographics too,
I
which
know.
is a big.
That's
big,
what they want.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest cable series. So
This demographic. Right?
So Sandow comes out. He's in some new looking gear. I couldn't tell if that was.
yeah, it was like baby blue knee pads
He's
and
got
like
elbow
silverish.
pads and then the baby
Looking
blue
a little
sparkly.
Lanny Poffo.
Who?
The
Right?
genius,
Looking like the
little
genius.
genius.
I like
The Macho Man, Randy Savage's brother, Lanny Poffo, did a
I
gimmick
have the
called.
smarts. Oh yes.
Is
Did
he
a
alive?
gimmick? Yes, he is.
Yes,
he
he's
is
alive,
absolutely
yes.
alive.
Very good.
He did a gimmick called the Genius, where he would dress up in different colored gowns and more. Oh, was it mortarboard? Is that what it's called? The graduation gowns, and he would read poetry, and he sounded a lot like Damian Sandow. They had a very similar voice, very similar look, dark
both
with
did
beards.
cartwheels?
Like if they both did the cartwheels. I mean, Damian Sandow is essentially Genius 2.0. It's the newer version of that
better.
gimmick.
New and improved.
It's not the exact same
Yeah,
gimmick, but
new and improved.
it's yeah.
He
So
beat
check out
Hogan
that.
like on one of his first matches too. Killed me.
So-
he
Count it.
as the Genius. Yeah, he was a jobber actually before that. It's just Lanny Poffo.
There to face Sandow tonight is R-Truth.
All right, little Jimmy. Little Jimmy
And
has
like I will annihilate Sheamus at Payback, I will annihilate R-Truth.
we haven't seen little Jimmy in a while. I don't think he comes out with R-Truth
No,
anymore.
I think he got over it.
No,
I don't know about R-Truth.
he doesn't see
It's
little
not my
Jimmy
fave.
anymore.
Sandow got a cool move right there.
I liked R-Truth when he was in TNA and the 3 Live Crew with Conan and Road Dogg. That was when I liked R-Truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't do it as much for me anymore. But he's a good worker. I mean, he's good.
Yeah. Did you think there's anything special about the match?
It was just cool that Sandow went over clean over
Yeah.
a guy
Yeah.
who just a few weeks ago beat someone big. I remember R-Truth came in and beat
Yeah,
Wade Barrett.
but Sandow's they've got him in this little program with Sheamus, so they've kind of pushed him up a little bit.
Good.
So
And then
I'm excited
post-match,
for that.
after the match, Sheamus comes out.
cuts a
and-
heel promo.
cuts a great heel.
I was
promo.
gonna say he's not being nice. Definitely not
All
a
these
face.
guys, I don't like it, man. don't like him.
No, it's I do not like this. I do not like a person. He's a hypocrite. I see this whole be a star thing. I was bullied and made fun of being fat, and now he's just calling Sandow a nerd. He kicked his computer on It was on SmackDown when he
Yeah.
did that. Like that's damaging property. Look, this guy's a fool, Sheamus.
Yeah.
A great wrestler. I love him, but I do not like the character right
Yeah.
now.
And the crowd didn't really seem to react to this either.
Yeah.
Yeah, one.
They're going to start to turn on him. They're going to start to turn.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if they don't understand, the booking team doesn't start to figure out that, I mean, they're pushing him as a face that, he's doing heelish things. We're like, why aren't they responding to Sheamus anymore? It's
Do you
'cause
think they'd
Sheamus is being
turn
a
him?
jerk.
Oh yeah, and
I don't know if they will turn
It'd
him.
be awesome. He'd be my favorite though.
No, I mean,
Sheamus.
and I don't know if I mean, it doesn't feel like this is part of a heel turn. It just,
Yeah.
I think they think it's funny and they don't understand that. I mean,
Yeah, I was so big on Sheamus to the moment when he ran away from the Nexus in the back. At that moment, I gave up on Sheamus. Sheamus, you don't know who you are. When he ran away, I was like, because he was such this big, tough bully kind of guy, and then he ran away from them. You should have fought him. But you think he's gonna go over Sandow, right?
I would think so. Yeah. I would think so. I would love to see, but I mean, it's the pre-show. I would love to see Sandow go over. I would just love to see Sandow go over him on the main card.
Yeah.
I would like to see that match moved up.
Sheamus said that he was going to kick off Sandow's head at Payback.
How
Intense.
Nice. That's so nice. And then some mouth breathers in the front row with a sign that says, "We came here for Sheamus." No, you didn't. WWE was like, "Here, you want a sign? Put that sign up." I don't like it.
That's hilarious. So we go backstage again to see Stephanie McMahon, and she basically told, this is the funniest thing. Yeah. She tells one of the people backstage, she's like, I'm Vince McMahon's daughter.
Oh, that's not what she said.
What did she say?
She said, I need you to go find Vince McMahon and tell him his daughter is looking for him and that it's business.
As if they didn't know who she was.
But she didn't say that. She said, to tell him his daughter. So she's saying what to verbally say. They know she's his daughter, but hey, when you go up, tell him his daughter's looking for him.
Say these
the way that she phrased it it sounded like, okay, you don't know who I am. Let me tell you who I am.
I didn't take it. Didn't take it that way. I took it. She was very serious.
Okay.
She's going and saying, "Go find Vince. Tell him his daughter's looking for him. It's very important."
And then she told the same thing to another person back.
Right. Instead of saying, "Hey, tell him I'm looking for him."
Then it's tell Triple H that his wife is looking for him,
and that it's personal.
Yes.
Woo. Yeah.
So. They go off and find the respective people that they're supposed to find. And we get a little video package that CM Punk coming back for Payback.
Is he coming
in Chicago?
Do you think he'll actually show? I mean, this is very interesting to see how they do it because it's a little bit weird that he hasn't been there and then he's just going to show up after he walked off.
I definitely think that he's going to be there. I don't know that he's actually going to wrestle.
There has to be some sort
Maybe
of swerve. Because it wouldn't make sense that he just shows up and, yeah, I'm ready to wrestle after walking off.
It would be so bad if they made him wrestle and then he lost it in Chicago.
It would be bad if he just walks up and shows and he's like, all right, I'm here to wrestle and I'm going against you, Chris Jericho, when after the Undertaker thing, he was so distraught and he whispers into Heyman's ear and he walks off. And Heyman's the one that signed this contract. Heyman's the one that's been saying that Jericho's going to wrestle him.
They would not have him not show up in Chicago.
No, they will have him show up. But I'm thinking there's got to be storyline-wise something other than he's just showing up and ready to wrestle. Because then it negates everything that they did of him walking out. So they have to do this a special way. He can't just be ready there to wrestle because he was challenged. There's got to be some sort of weird thing. Yeah, like I said, have his music hit and he doesn't come out and then he walks down and he sits in the front row with his popcorn and he's like, I never signed a contract. I'm here to watch a show. I bought a ticket. I mean, something like that.
Now that Curtis Axel is in the Intercontinental title, what would they do with Y2J for that night? You promised the people a match with Y2J. Who do we give him?
What are you talking about?
Well,
if
my whole theory
CM Punk doesn't wrestle
was, Punk's not going to wrestle. It's going to be Curtis Axel instead.
Yeah, I don't know what you would do from that point.
See, now I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm beyond excited to see Punk back, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been.
You need him.
It feels weird not having certain people there. Not having Dolph there and not having CM Punk there just has felt kind of off.
Mm-hmm.
He's been
and then Kofi gone
the Blackhawks.
and everyone else gone.
Constantly winning.
Yeah, Blackhawks, they actually played tonight. I didn't get to see it because I was doing this instead.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I care about you guys.
Yeah.
I have to be here.
She cares about you guys, not us. She doesn't give two craps. She doesn't She doesn't give two craps about us. Never returns phone calls. Never answers the phone.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I'm busy.
I know, and you actually almost always answer the phone. Like all you do. So I'm just totally messing with you.
Trying to bring down my character. Yeah. I just never answer Kat's. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. I talked to Kat the other day.
Yeah, exactly. She always answers my phone calls, Ryan.
No. I talked to him the other day.
Oh,
I was
did you?
I was asking how he got settled in and whatever else.
Good.
So yeah.
He's doing well. I spoke to him an hour before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another commercial, and we come back. the announcers talk about all the drama that's been happening with the McMahons, and I don't know, just kind of building more stuff for Payback this weekend. And then
Yes, the three of them are in the back.
Yeah,
together,
the three of them in the back.
And Steph just screams out,
That was great.
"Y'all fix this! I'm out!" Walks out, and those two are just standing there looking at each other.
You're right. I don't want to. You're right. I really don't want to wrestle.
she
Curtis
wanted a
Axel.
family hug. That's what she said.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna wrestle tonight. No, you're not.
You know, and then he's like, "Okay, you're gonna get your match," and he's like, "Hey, you know what? You're right. I don't want to wrestle." Well, you know what? I want to see that actually. No, I'm not gonna wrestle. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes. So.
I thought he was trying to use the reverse psychology, and then I got so confused during this.
Yeah, it wasn't reverse psychology. They just
It's just
switched.
because they're both stubborn.
Right. It wasn't a reverse psychology thing. It was one switch, though they can't agree.
Yeah.
It's like one of them,
Rabbit
you know,
season,
he's
duck
like, okay,
season,
well,
rabbit season, duck season.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to actually agree with you and change things. Well, oh, you are? Well, then I can't agree with you. You know, I'm going to switch my stance to what your stance was before.
It's great.
Yeah.
It was good.
And
yeah.
then Steph comes in and says, "Let's
Family
get
hug.
Let's get a family hug."
Yes.
I'm not hugging him. I'll hug you. Yeah, we'll hug me at the same time. And then they started slapping each other.
It was good.
It was nice.
So last match of the night, or I guess it's not a.
No, it's the
not a match.
The segment.
Last segment of the night.
Segment. It's the overrun.
Teasing the Lumberjack match.
Teasing the 3 stages of Hell match.
Oh.
The Lumberjacks were out for it, though,
yes.
because the Lumberjack match is
It's
the
part of it.
first match.
It's the first match.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we saw some guys that we haven't really seen much of recently. Alex Riley was in there.
So Alex Riley, JTG. We had a JTG,
JTG.
sighting. Who else did we
I
say?
mean, Zack Ryder was there, but we've been seeing him off and on for the past couple.
Regal was out there.
weeks.
We saw Ted DiBiase out there. Ted DiBiase Jr. was out there. Was there anyone else that we haven't seen in a while? Justin Gabriel was out
I
there.
feel like Cena's been getting less and less airtime the last weeks or so. I don't know.
Yeah, well, sometimes they go through that. He doesn't need to be in 5 segments a show.
No.
Yeah, he's
definitely
not leading the show. He's just doing his little thing.
Yeah.
Because you're with Ryback, so you
I
can't really have
personally
a
would
whole lot
like
of
to
time
see
with
less
him.
of that.
Yeah.
After that ambulance match that
Yeah.
they had.
And-
Well, I think they should use, I mean, honestly, go a little bit old school, and I think guys like Punk and Cena should stop wrestling on Raw. You have them do segments, but you have them on pay-per-views, and you have them in the dark matches after. You have to go pay to see them. Like, when I was a kid, I never got to see Hulk Hogan on TV.
Yeah.
I had to either go see him at the arena, or I had to go watch a pay-per-view where he was on Saturday night's main event. He was only on special times, and it
How
made
do
it
you
so
get
much more
excited
special.
for that person though?
Because they're still in backstage segments. You're still promoting
They're
them. You
recaps of
recap. You
something,
just
yeah.
don't get to actually see them in the match to pay for it, and then you use those times to build your other stars. And that's why, like, when I grew up, I cared about all the mid-carders. I think all the mid-card matches were so much more important. And I think part of that was, I mean, you can't fully do that. It's a different world today, but I would like to see less of it. I would like to see these guys wrestling less, and like the main guys have to be a special attraction, and then that way we can see the mid-card guys, get them in the matches.
Yeah.
But the big guys, you still use them. You still use them in the interview segments. You still do some other stuff with them.
Have
You
them do
still
a
get them
run-in,
on there, yeah.
you know.
But you don't let them wrestle on Raw. You let them wrestle after the show in the dark matches and on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Just my idea, my guess.
So Cena's in the ring, surrounded by the Lumberjacks. Ryback comes out.
And his little ambulance.
Yeah, it doesn't come out.
What?
And he doesn't come down to the ring.
No. So Cena tries to go get him, but he can't leave the ring because of all the guys on the outside.
And Cena cut a really good promo here, I thought. It was freaking
Both
out
of them
on
were
Ryback.
on.
Yeah, Ryback actually was
Not reading cue cards.
didn't feel stiff reading cue cards. Yeah, he actually said some stuff that was really good.
Yeah.
And Cena was on. I mean, Cena was just
Fired up.
fired up. Yeah.
Some people, I feel like there are mixed reviews or mixed feelings about Lumberjack matches. Like, I feel like some people really like them and some people think that they're pointless.
It's a gimmick match. It's an old school
I like
gimmick
seeing
match.
they had
it's
it
been
on.
around.
We didn't talk about NXT this week.
No, we
We
didn't.
always mentioned NXT. They had it on NXT maybe like a month ago.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I
it's
really
a-
liked.
It's a classic match, and you know what? what's good about Lumberjacks is it gets everybody else to get out and get involved.
Exactly.
You have everybody out there. The guys like Alex, like we said, Alex Riley, Ted DiBiase, guys who haven't gotten on TV. At least they get out and get around the ring and get to do a little something.
Exactly. And it seems like everyone got involved tonight, as they were all in the ring at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another.
Well, yeah.
Break it up, gentlemen. Break it up.
I guess Ryback came in and they kind of were pushing him in and out, and they fought a little bit, and then everyone came in and did a pull apart, and it wasn't the greatest pull apart in the world. It was all right.
We've had better.
The Cena Brock one is one of my favorite ones. That was done excellent, but yeah, it was okay for pull apart. Good, okay ending segment. You know, set up for the.
I thought it was kind of abrupt in the ending, but other than that, I mean, it was a decent Raw.
Yeah.
Very
like
good
a
setup.
7.58 it was okay. It was
Very
decent.
good setup for Sunday. Even though before tonight I completely forgot that Payback was this Sunday.
Yeah, because it really felt like they just shoved a lot in tonight and a lot of information for giving us so much information tonight. It was good for that.
Yeah.
You know, that it could be overload in those
And
situations.
I'm really excited for Sunday. I really hope it's not a letdown. But regardless, I'm sure we will have an amazing Raw next Monday.
The last pay-per-view the last WrestleMania and then
Couple
the last pay-per-view
pay-per-views.
we haven't been all that excited about the last
Yeah.
couple pay-per-views. So hopefully we'll get a good one.
Following Raws.
It looks like a good roster.
On paper there's some good. It's a good lineup.
matches, yeah. So do
I'm
we
worried
want
about
to
the build-up on some of it.
Do we want to do predictions?
Do you want to do predictions?
Let's do predictions. I don't know what we're going to do.
People in chat were asking for predictions.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
So Josh, I think we should go down the line.
Do you have the matches?
So we got Sheamus versus Sandow.
Okay.
Sheamus?
Oh yeah, Sheamus all the
Sheamus.
way.
Everyone's Sheamus?
I would go with Sheamus. I want Sandow to win, but
Me too.
if I'm thinking about if I'm trying to get in their heads, I think it's going to be
Sheamus.
Sheamus.
It's all Sheamus. AJ versus Caitlyn.
AJ.
AJ.
And I think the White family coming out next Monday and we'll scoop her up. Let's do it. Please do it.
Look at you. You're like.
That'd be awesome. I'd be so happy for Caitlyn. That'd be a great.
Are we
great
gonna
thing for her
agree
to
on
do.
everything, by the way?
Well, let's say Punk versus Y2J.
I don't think the match will happen, but if
I
it
don't think the match
does,
will happen either,
Punk.
Kathy.
if it does, I think that Punk will win. Even
Yeah.
though it's in Chicago, God, I don't know. I think Punk will win.
Oh, actually,
If it happens.
I'm going to go with Y2J. It's in his hometown. You lose in your hometown usually one last time. So
Yeah, but he's back.
I'm gonna go with Y2J on that.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong, but I'm still gonna go with Y2J. I gotta go against you guys on something.
Yeah.
And this sucks because there's no Fandango. He can't cause a ruckus
I
against
know.
Y2J. Dolph's got a match.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so Dolph versus Del Rio.
Dolph.
Dolph, yeah.
So the new RK-No versus Shield. Who's got that one?
Shield.
Yeah, Shield.
Believe in the Shield. They're not going to take that from. Maybe this will be Orton's
Actually.
for true heel turn. Maybe. I don't know. Really take out Bryan.
It could be.
Maybe. I'm gonna go bold with it. I'm gonna say
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna
is
go
where
Shield.
Orton
I'm gonna
finally
go
goes.
Shield.
But Shield will win because
Yeah.
Orton's gonna take out Bryan. He didn't like everybody him being so over. Kane versus Ambrose, U.S. title match.
I would say Ambrose is gonna keep it.
Yeah, I might have to go with Kane, but not to win the title.
What do you mean?
So it'd be like a.
He can win the match and not win the title.
Yeah, DQ win.
DQ,
Okay.
DQ,
So,
count out.
Ambrose-
I think
Ambrose
we're
still
actually.
retains.
I'll go with
I think we're
Kane.
gonna have a lot of title, or not a lot, but maybe 1 or 2 title changes on the Monday Night Raw after.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be hard to see Ambrose go over on Kane.
So what do we got after that?
And
We
then
got
Cena versus Ryback.
I gotta go with
Three.
Cena.
Cena.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
It'll be another great thing Cena can overcome.
I think the Divas title is the only title that changes hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm really excited for that match, and actually all of them.
Yeah, they all look good.
So.
Yeah.
The Great Kelly.
The great Kelly.
We have the great Khali,
Yes.
and now we have the great Cathy Kelley.
Yeah.
You can see my boobs.
So that's what they look like.
So, the great Kelly needs to cover up. Do you want to talk about your match this weekend?
Didn't we a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. Do you have anything coming up?
June 22nd, I think it is, Millennium Pro Wrestling, Simi Valley, California, 7 o'clock bell time. Be there. Don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'll beat someone up.
Okay. Other plugs, Twitter. Anything?
At Cluminator, Twitter. You can. I have a fan page now on Facebook.
Ooh, look at you.
Ryan J. Morals. It's been up for a while. I
So
never promote
official.
it. And then I've got a bunch of stuff up on YouTube. I haven't posted anything in a while, but YouTube /Ryan Clum.
Showtime Josh on Twitter. I got Iconic ITV tomorrow night, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. We're talking E3 and a certain big time movie coming out. I got some little
can't wait for that.
extras. It's gonna be awesome.
You can find me on Twitter at Cathy Kelley. I have a baking blog and I do chatting with Cathy here on AfterBuzz. So check all of those things out. You can find all of us on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. And a bunch of us will be here for the pay-per-view on Sunday.
Yes.
So if you want to check out the after show right here on AfterBuzz TV, I know Clum and Josh will be doing it. I
We
don't
will
know
be.
if I will be able to make it because I have several other shows for AfterBuzz that night. But you might have some other special guests.
And we may have a
doing it
special guest
Sunday.
next Monday, which we will not say the name because
Yes.
it's not confirmed yet. But we may have a guest we're working on
Yes.
right now.
So definitely check out Sunday night Payback after show on AfterBuzz TV and Monday Night Raw next Monday.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Stop lying to children!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.